The App Store isn't just a store. It's like a studio stocked with canvases, brushes, and paint, the tools that artists need to create their works. And it's a gallery where they can display and sell their creations. And that is how the App Store empowers everyone to build apps.
That was Kyle Andier, Apple Chief Compliance Officer, who testified Wednesday at a Senate hearing over the potentially anti-competitive conduct by Apple in the App Store. Bloomberg Tech's Mark Gurman has the latest in how the hearing has played out. What can you tell us, Mark?
Yeah, I thought the hearing resulted in some very compelling testimony from Match Group, Spotify, as well as Tile. I did not particularly find Kyle Andier, Apple's Chief Compliance Officer's responses to some of the questions very compelling, and I don't believe he gave some very direct answers. I feel like there was a lot to be desired, and I think that this goes to show you perhaps why Apple did not want to participate in this hearing initially. I thought they were basically put into a corner in some respects. That's not to say some of their points were not great, but I think there were some key issues related to Tile and the competition between the new AirTags and Tile's item tracker that went unanswered. There was a little bit of a debate in the middle of the hearing about why Apple does not take a cut of revenue from Uber while it takes a cut of revenue from Tinder, given those apps both facilitate in-person experiences, one being a date and one being a car ride. So I think this is really going to continue to play out, and we're shown today that this is going to be potentially a very long-term issue for Apple, and there's definitely more work to do both on the sides of Apple and the lawmakers to come to some sort of series of changes here moving forward.
Right. Certainly, we can imagine there will be continuing scrutiny on this particular issue. I want to talk to you about the Apple event that we didn't get to yesterday, Spring Loaded. Take a quick clip here of Tim Cook talking about the new Macs built on Apple's designed M1 chip and how big a deal that is. Take a listen.
With a giant leap in performance per watt, every Mac with M1 is transformed into a completely different class of product. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a breakthrough.
Mark, would you agree that the Apple's new computers are not, it's not just an upgrade, it's a breakthrough, what we're seeing?
Yeah, so the iMac yesterday, very interesting, very thin, very intricate design, uses the same M1 chip they brought to the Mac Mini, entry MacBook Pro, as well as the entry MacBook Air last year. As more of a pro user, I think there's a lot left to be desired. This is a very much a baseline machine, an entry-level computer, so I'm looking forward to the higher end. But sticking to the chips for just a moment, Emily, I thought it was very interesting that now the iPad Pro runs the same exact M1 processor as the Macs. The difference between the two devices at this point is the software ecosystem. The Mac has a much more impressive, much more vibrant, much more capable operating system compared to the iPad. I think it's due time for Apple to give the very, very advanced iPad hardware the software it deserves and to completely unlock that device. I think the iPad Pro they announced yesterday, technically from a hardware perspective, is extraordinarily impressive. What I really would like them to do is add the Mac software to it to make it even much more capable and finally give me the ability and other people the ability to replace their Mac laptops.